Hi, my name is Markell Irvin, and I'm currently working in the admissions department here at CTX. I'm from a small town called Texas, and just a little bit about my background. My grandma, she always talks about how when she went to school in Thrall, at the time she went to a separate school in Thrall. She went to Lincoln High School. The building where it was a school, it's a restaurant now, so that just kind of shows the comparison of how small it was compared to the actual Thrall High School where white students studied at.
Hello everyone, my name is Christina Hamilton and I am the new professor in the math department. And I would like to talk to you a little bit about my Black history. I am from Shreveport, Louisiana, where my mom and my dad grew up on two different sides of the tracks. My mom grew up on a plantation with her mother. My grandmother was a domestic, meaning that she was the housekeeper for a wealthy white family, and their names were the Calhouns. And so I remember times visiting my grandmother at work where we would go to this big house, and she would be the person they will look to cook, to clean, to do their laundry, to sew for them. And so it was just an experience just seeing my grandmother in that capacity. Because when I'm around her, when she's not at work, we're either on her land picking peas, picking plums, picking greens, or even fishing. And so just seeing her in those two types of capacities was important for me. And so seeing my grandmother as she raised her 11 children in this small house, had to be no more than 2 bedrooms. I remember going into the living room, and then you had the kitchen right outside the living room, and then you had 2 bedrooms. So she raised 12 children in that house. They all stayed, I mean, it was to them, they didn't know any different. And so that was their upbringing. And so to see that before she passed in the late 80s, it was an experience. We loved to go to my grandmother's house because she would cook us. She would have gel in the jars, and so she would show us how to make the gel in the jars and things like that. So it was really humbling to see that aspect. We didn't know what we was doing. We just knew that was grandma's house. And so, and the significance of it was just grandma's house. Now on the other end, my dad family, you would say they were well off. Well, my grandmother and grandfather had stable jobs. They owned 2 or 3 properties at the time, and my dad, my uncle, we used to talk about the different trips they went on, and they definitely had cars before their peers and all types of things. The aspect I got from my dad and his side of the family was that you can have things. And if you work hard, you can have anything that your heart desires. So just to see how my mom would introduce my dad to some of the things that she experienced. And then, of course, my mom going to take trips for the first time. So as a kid, we'll take vacations, and we went across the United States as a kid. And so getting her out, having her travel for the first time, it was a good experience. So I think I got the best of both worlds as I was coming up. And so that is my Black history.
So being Black to me is being willing to face adversity at any time, and also not letting your circumstances determine who you are, especially in this time, kind of the racial reconciliation that we're kind of going through now. That strength of being Black, it's going to keep us going through this time, and also to keeping us achieve, because I know that segregation is over and the civil rights movement and things like that, but I feel like we still have work to do. So in connecting with students here at Concordia, I feel like it's easy because just last year I was a part of the Black Student Union here on campus. So I feel like I'm still can be in close contact with the students here on campus. And just being around that group, I'm excited of the leadership that is in place right now, because they're continuing the group that we did start. We're on the right track, and we're going to continue to grow diversity here on campus. Just being a first-gen college student of my family, from my grandma and parents and things like that, I hope I did make her proud, and I'm excited for the future.